Hi everyone, it's Marty Walden from martysmusings.net. So today I want to teach you how to make a fall table in an inexpensive way using things from the dollar store, and I'm even going to teach you how to make this cool tray. So today I have created a table on my island. We have a 10-foot island, and instead of figuring out my table and clearing it honestly of all the junk that's on the table, I decided to create this table in right by my island. So I've just done a two-piece place setting, so I didn't do a full table, but I wanted to teach you how you can make an easy centerpiece and tablescape with just things that you use from nature and from the dollar store. So this is that's not good. This is a tray from the dollar store. It's just a small little cookie sheet, and I love trays. I love to go to yard sales and I buy all sorts of trays, and I usually paint them, or I use scrapbook paper on them, or I do something to make them unique. So this is what, I hope this isn't gonna reflect bad. Okay, so here's the tray that I created. This is just a dollar store cookie sheet, if you can tell that. And I did, if I forget to mention it, I did paint it around the edges on the bottom. You don't have to, but I did do this. So let me tell you about it. What you're going to need is a sheet of either 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, or you can use wrapping paper. I love scrapbooking. I don't do it hardly ever at all, but gosh, I love it. And I love scrapbook paper. It inspires me. You're going to need a craft cutter. My husband doesn't like me to use these because I can be dangerous. You're going to need just a little bit of sandpaper, and I used my favorite chalk paint. You're going to need a little bit of that. I used a dark wax, a golden brown wax as well. You're going to need some Mod Podge. The one that I use the gloss kind. Hey Karen, I use the gloss kind, and it kind of gave it a glossier finish than I might have wanted. So you can also use the matte finish for the Mod Podge. You're going to need some Vaseline if you do it the way I did. And then you're just going to need some craft brushes. So I'm not actually going to demonstrate the cookie sheet, but I'll show you what I did. I used chalk, the white chalk paint all the way around the edges, and I did just a little bit down on this side because this cookie sheet is just a little bit longer than my scrapbook paper. Then what I did, so I ended up using 3 coats. It's this shiny, this kind of surface. So I ended up using 3 coats. I then took my sandpaper and I sanded around the edges and just kind of different places. And I do have a video that I just did recently about waxing and distressing with chalk paint, and you may want to catch that and see if you can learn a little bit more about this process. But let me see here. The Vaseline is what I use after I chalk paint. If I want to put a dark wax on something and I want to remove the wax, I just rub Vaseline on those edges or wherever I'm going to want to remove the dark chalk paint. And so what I did after I chalk painted, then I sanded, then I put some of this dark wax on the chalk paint. And then I removed it just with, you can use what I like to use is just like a cut up old t-shirt. And you can just use just a paper towel too. And I removed some of the dark so that it wasn't quite so brown. And then this part I'm actually going to kind of demonstrate for you. I took my scrapbook paper and I just lined it up. If you can see this. Just pressed it on the edge and took this craft cutter and for some reason it didn't want to do this right. Okay. And I just cut along the edges so that my craft paper is going to fit. Okay, so you're going to have this, and then what you're going to do, to make sure I have the right one, I'm just going to take some of this Mod Podge, and what I do is I just do a layer on my surface before I put the paper on it. And I'm kind of just doing this really quickly for demonstration purposes, just to kind of give you that idea. And then I'm just going to set my paper inside. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but sometimes I can be a perfectionist. And then I just add a second coat. You can see that. And I love these little cheapo craft brushes. Hi, Karen. I seriously love craft brushes. And then you're just going to give it a layer of this Mod Podge so that it will adhere to this metal. And so we're going to pretend that I'm all done with that. So when you're done, I'm trying to not that glare. Sorry about that, you guys. So this is what I just picked, a fall paper, and so you can tell where I chalk painted, I sanded, I waxed, and then I adhered the paper. And I just love this. So I'm going to set it on my table here. And then I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to walk around and show you my table setting. Okay, so one of the things I used 2 dollar store candles, and these are these battery operated votives or tea light candles, and I love them. My grandkids like to play with them too. So I have 2 of these. I have the orange and I have the green, $1 each. Then I got 3 of these from the dollar store. They did have these clips on the back of them, but I just took the clips out, and so I've got these little pumpkins. And I got this glass container at the dollar store as well. Then I paid $1 for the stones that are inside it, and then I just obviously got branches out from my yard, and that's kind of my little centerpiece there. The placemat that I have was from a yard sale. It was probably a quarter or so. And then I got, so in the party section, I got these crepe flowers. We used these for we made homemade ones for my daughter's wedding many years ago and loved them. My other daughter hung them in her room, and they're so cute. But these are just these come on a strand, and I just cut them apart and put them together. So I did 4 of these kind of, so they're gonna lie in the corners. I got 2 of these for $1, and these had the wooden piece out the bottom, and I just tore that off, and these are going to go on my plates. Let me show you that. So these are dollar store plates. I love the Grateful, and this is just the matching larger plate. Okay, I think that may be it for that. So this placemat is, like I said, it was from a yard sale, and everything else came from the dollar store. And I did my place setting. Sorry, this is a little awkward holding this camera. And I just added the little scarecrow at the top. These wood chargers are made out of fence board. My husband made them for me one year, and they're on the blog if you look up rustic wood chargers, I think. So you kind of disregard all the junk right there. But this is the little centerpiece. And y'all, this took me absolutely no time to put together. Honestly, putting together these little crepe flowers and this little tissue paper flowers probably took longer than anything else. But I think that is so attractive for fall. And y'all, entertaining does not have to be expensive. It does not have to be time consuming. And honestly, I don't decorate as much as I used to because I'm so busy working. What are your difficulties when you're trying to do you even entertain, or are you somebody who doesn't like to spend time fixing up your house? What I'd like to propose is that entertaining doesn't have to be time consuming. And I always have something on my table, but now that we're empty nesters, I seem to have more junk and other things. So I'm working on cleaning up my house so that it is plain, clean, and simple and easy to do. So that's what I have to share with you. I'd love to know if you take a cookie sheet, and if you make a little tray out of it, drop a picture below here, and I'd love to see it. And ask me any of your questions when you're watching the chat. And that's what I have for you today. You guys have a great fall day.